Welcome to the Deep Dive. I'm really excited about today's conversation, actually. We're diving into the, well, truly extraordinary life of Savitri Ganesan. You probably know her best as Mahanati, which translates from Telugu and Tamil as the great actress. And it's a title she absolutely earned. Our goal today isn't just, listing her films. We're digging into biographies, analyses, all sorts of sources to really get a sense of the person behind the legend. And crucially, why her story still hits home for so many people today.
Absolutely. And I think it's vital to frame this right from the start. Her story isn't just about cinema. It's really about a pioneering woman in, let's face it, a very tough industry, especially back then.
Yeah.
We're talking about huge talent, incredible success, but also real deep personal struggles, universal themes.
Right.
And that name, Mahanati, it's not just a label. In South Indian film culture, it signifies something profound, real mastery, impact, a connection with the audience that's, well, rare. It sets her apart immediately.
It really does. Okay, so let's start at the beginning then. Her roots. Savitri was born December 6, 1936, in Chinarovaru. That's a village in the Guntur district, Andhra Pradesh. Telugu-speaking family, which, as you mentioned, became key later with her film work across languages. Sadly, she lost her father very young, just 6 months old, I believe. So she was raised by her mother and uncle.
Yeah, tough start.
But even as a child, apparently the talent was obvious, the natural flair for acting, for classical dance. That dramatic spark was there early on.
And what's fascinating here, I think, is how maybe that early hardship, losing her father, built a certain resilience. Maybe it even prepared her, in a way, for the film world, which wasn't exactly easy.
That's an interesting thought.
It wasn't just about having talent, right?
Yeah.
It seems she had this foundational grit. Plus, the discipline from classical dance training that likely provided the groundwork for her versatility, her emotional range later on.
That makes sense. It gave her a solid base.
Exactly. That early dedication really set the stage.
And what a stage it became. So getting into films, it wasn't like an overnight explosion, was it? More like a steady climb. Her first role was minor in Samsaram, a Telugu film from 1950.
Right.
But things picked up pace quickly. Pelli Chizi Chudu in 52 started getting her noticed, and then the big one, Devadasu, in 1953, playing Parvati opposite the legendary A&R Akini Nageswara Rao.
A huge role. Iconic.
And her performance, it wasn't just good, people called it a masterpiece. It basically cemented her as a leading lady almost instantly. The impact was massive.
It really was. And if you look at the bigger picture, her rise in the 50s and 60s was, well, meteoric. She didn't just become a star, she became one of the biggest stars in both Telugu and Tamil cinema.
They cross languages.
Yeah, captivating audiences everywhere. And what defined her, everyone talked about her eyes, so expressive. Her performances were powerful, but also subtle. And her range, she could do anything. Comedy, drama.
And not just Telugu and Tamil, right? She worked in Canada, Malayalam, even Hindi films.
Exactly, which just shows her incredible talent and broad appeal. She wasn't just regional, she was a national figure, really.
Her filmography is just packed with classics.
Yeah.
We mentioned Devadasu, which was huge. But then you have Misama in 55 that showed her comedic timing.
A different side.
Gundama Katha in 62, another beloved Telugu family drama.
Yeah.
But I think for many, the iconic role, especially in Telugu cinema, has to be Sasareka in Maya Bazaar, 1957.
Oh, absolutely, Maya Bazaar.
That film is legendary.
Yeah.
Still considered one of the greatest Indian films ever made. What was it about her in that role? What makes Sasareka so special?
That's a great question. Because Sasareka wasn't just, a character. Savitri made her come alive. She had this amazing mix of charm, almost mischievousness, but also vulnerability underneath.
Yeah, you could see both.
And she delivered it all with this effortless grace. It wasn't just reading lines. She was Sasareka. Relatable, funny, someone you rooted for.
She really embodied it.
Totally. And handling that comedic timing and the emotional depth, few could do that. That role really showed her incredible range beyond just the tragic parts she often played. She made the character iconic.
Yeah, she definitely did. And it wasn't just Telugu cinema. She was huge in Tamil films, too. Like Navarathri in 64, playing multiple roles, I think. Very complex.
9 roles, yes. Incredible feat.
And Passamalar in 61, utterly heartbreaking family drama. She was amazing in that.
Powerful performance.
And we should also mention Chivarku Mijilady from 1960. That intense performance won her major awards.
Rightfully so.
What really stands out across all these films, these different languages and genres, is her natural acting. That's the phrase everyone uses.
It's true.
It wasn't stagey or overdone. It felt real, elegant, subtle, but with this incredible emotional power. She just drew you in.
And that ability to be Parvati one minute, Sasareka the next, then these deeply emotional Tamil roles, that range was extraordinary. It earned her another title, Nadigayar Thilagam in Tamil, Actress of Pride,
Okay.
which shows the immense respect, the adoration she commanded. It wasn't just about being a star. She elevated every role. She set a new standard for authentic performance back then.
But she wasn't just an actress, which is amazing. She stepped behind the camera, too.
Yeah, a true trailblazer.
Think about it in the 1960s. A top female star directing and producing. That was incredibly rare.
Almost unheard of.
Her first film as director was Chinari Papalu in 1968. It feels like more than just a side project, right?
Yeah.
This seems like a real statement. Taking creative control in a male-dominated field.
Absolutely. It speaks volumes about her ambition, her vision, to run a film set, make those crucial creative calls while still being at the absolute peak of her acting career. That took incredible courage.
Yeah, must have.
And think about the skepticism she probably faced. This wasn't just, a star trying something new. It feels like a genuine expansion of her artistry. She wanted to shape the whole story, not just her part.
A real commitment to the craft itself.
Definitely. Shows her entrepreneurial side, too.
And layered onto all this professional drive, there's another side the research highlights: her generosity. Apparently, she was incredibly philanthropic, helped people with education, medical bills, often completely anonymously. Never wanted the spotlight for it, just quietly did it. Which, considering how public her life was, seems quite profound.
It really is. It adds such an important dimension to who she was. Maybe it was a way for her to find some, private meaning, using her success to help others, away from the constant glare of fame.
Could be. A quiet way to give back.
Yeah, it's a really poignant contrast to the difficulties she faced elsewhere in her life.
Right, because, while her career was soaring, her personal life became complicated, difficult. The same woman portraying these incredible emotions on screen was dealing with a lot privately. In 1955, the same year she really hit big, she married Gemini Ganesan, another huge star, Tamil actor. But that marriage caused quite a stir, didn't it? Because he was already married.
Yes, that was very controversial at the time. A lot of public discussion.
They had 2 children, including their daughter, Vijaya Chamandaswari. But the relationship itself sounds like it was incredibly stressful for Savitri.
It seems so.
Despite all the fame, the adoration, her personal life was troubled. Gemini Ganesan's affairs were apparently well known. And then later, she faced serious financial problems. Issues with alcohol started to surface, and her health declined.
A tragic trajectory.
It's just such a stark, almost heartbreaking contrast. The brilliant star on screen, and this woman battling immense personal difficulties behind the scenes. Very human struggles, really.
And it makes you think, doesn't it, about the pressures, especially on women, leading actresses in that era. Savitri, the Mahanati, was probably expected to be perfect, flawless. How could she possibly show vulnerability publicly?
Right. The image had to be maintained.
Exactly. Which must have been incredibly isolating, even with millions of fans. That gap between the public image and the private reality, it's a powerful, sad commentary on the cost of that kind of fame for women icons.
Despite all that turmoil, her work continued to be recognized. She received major awards.
Yeah.
The Rashtrapati Award, like the National Film Award today for Chivaraku Mijiledi in 1960, a huge honor. Then the Nandi Award from Andhra Pradesh for Best Actress for Chinari Papalu, the film she directed, in '68.
Recognition for her directing, too, that's significant.
And the Kalamamani Award from the Tamil Nadu government, recognizing her overall artistic contribution.
She absolutely deserved those accolades.
But tragically, her life ended far too soon. She fell into a coma in 1980.
Yes, a very long coma.
Remained in that state for 19 months. Passed away on December 26, 1981. She was only 45, due to complications from diabetes and liver failure.
Just devastatingly young.
Years later, in 1996, she received the NTR National Award posthumously. Her legacy clearly lived on.
Absolutely. And it's important to note, while the awards were significant, it feels like her true impact went even deeper. The renewed interest, especially after the biopic Mahanati came out in 2018, that really brought her whole story, the complexities, to a new generation.
That film was huge, wasn't it? Critically acclaimed.
Yes. Directed by Nag Ashwin, Kirti Suresh was phenomenal as Savitri. It allowed people to see beyond just the star, to understand the human being. It cemented her place, reminded everyone why she's still considered one of the absolute greatest in South Indian cinema. Her acting, her elegance, her emotional depth, but also her groundbreaking spirit. She continues to inspire actors, filmmakers today. Her legend is intact.
Yeah, definitely. As we wrap up this deep dive, it's clear Savitri's life was, well, extraordinary, but also deeply moving, often heartbreaking.
Hmm.
Her impact on cinema is undeniable. That talent earned her the title Mahanati. Her work as a director, her philanthropy,
Hmm.
it's all part of this rich, complex tapestry.
Hmm.
We've seen the incredible highs of her career, but also the very real, very human struggles she faced away from the camera. It really makes you think about the price of greatness.
It really does. And this exploration of Savitri's life, it leaves us with a big question, I think. How do we as viewers, as fans, reconcile that dazzling public image of someone legendary with the private battles they endure?
That's a tough one.
What does her story really teach us? About the cost of fame, yes, but also about how art can somehow transcend personal tragedy. How an artist like Savitri lives on through her work, even when her own life was cut so painfully short.
A powerful thought.
So maybe something for you, our listener, to reflect on. How do these figures continue to inspire us, not just through their films or their art, but through their whole complex, resilient human story? It gives us a much deeper appreciation, I think, for what it truly meant to be Mahanati, the great actress.